Who do you think wins that fight? You've boxed both of them twice. You've been...
AJ win. It's future undisputed champion, you know?
That's going to be the super fight of the era. You know, what wound up happening is Tyson Fury simply proved he was the best fighter of the era. And now, he's also obviously a Brit, Anthony Joshua, they're both still there. They create the biggest fight, at least the biggest event in British boxing history. And I think there is a sense that while the event will be the biggest in the history of British boxing, that Tyson Fury is closer to the peak of his powers than AJ, and even that the best version of AJ was not as good as Fury.
As anticipation keeps building, Oleksandr Usyk and boxing pros have broken down a potential Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua clash, analyzing how the matchup might play out. Their views have reignited fresh debate over who would come out on top in this heavyweight showdown.
Who comes in as the favorite? Who everyone understands if Joshua loses to Fury, no big deal. It's not like losing to a guy like Jake Paul. I expect to see whatever AJ has left, the best version of it against Tyson Fury. And if he just, steadily pressures Fury, you saw Fury against Makhmudov, who's not nearly as accomplished or skillful as Anthony Joshua. Makhmudov gave Tyson, I don't know if he gave him problems, but you could see where if Tyson was less than his best, he could have had problems early in the fight with Makhmudov, who maybe won the first round or two just with pressure. The best version of Joshua, I believe still, is a cut above Makhmudov. What does that look like if Joshua can apply steady pressure against Fury? But speaking of pressure, who is under more for this fight? AJ or Fury, right? It's Tyson Fury, clearly, because he will be the big favorite coming in. Because Tyson Fury demonstrated over time that he is among the great heavyweight champions of all time.
Adding to that discussion, Fabio Wardley called it a difficult comparison between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, stating Joshua's next warm-up fight would be the key test. Wardley noted Fury began his comeback slowly before settling into rhythm after a few rounds. He added Joshua's recent bouts didn't reflect his true level, making the upcoming fight the real benchmark.
Who do you consider is nearer the best version of themselves, in your opinion, Joshua or Fury?
Oh, I think that's a hard one. I think the warm-up will give us the answer, to be honest. Because like you saw with Tyson Fury's warm-up, comeback fight, whatever you want to call it, it wasn't quickest to it in them first few rounds. It did take him kind of 3 or 4 to find his feet again, find his rhythm, find his range, bits like that. So once he did settle into the fight, it became relatively comfortable. But for those first few rounds, I think everyone was a bit edgy and a bit like, oh, actually, he could get caught, or he doesn't look the same. So I think this warm-up fight, as we're calling it for AJ, will kind of answer that question. We'll see how he looks in that, because I don't think, one, obviously the loss to Daniel and then the fight with Jake Paul are really anywhere to give you a measuring stick of the AJ we've seen. So this will be the real test.
However, Anthony Yarde suggested that based on recent form, Tyson Fury would likely outbox Anthony Joshua and break him down over the course of the fight. Yarde added that if Joshua manages to turn it into a physical, high-pressure battle and land damaging shots, similar to Oleksandr Usyk's approach, then he believes Joshua's power could still swing the fight and potentially lead to a stoppage.
AJ of recent, AJ boxing, I think Fury probably picks him apart. But if AJ happens to get this, rough and tough thing back where he wants to fight and just let shots off, if he hurt Fury how Usyk did, he'll finish him.
At the same time, an analyst noted that while they had historically favored Tyson Fury in this matchup, the balance has shifted slightly as both fighters have aged. They clarified that there was no disrespect toward either man, but suggested that Anthony Joshua now carried a noticeably stronger chance of victory than in previous assessments.
Is it? Yeah, I always favoured Fury, and the closer it gets towards now, when they're both a little bit longer in the tooth, no disrespect to either of them, I'm thinking AJ has a huge chance now, yeah.
Meanwhile, Amir Khan called a potential Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury clash a blockbuster fight for boxing. Khan edged slightly in favor of Fury to win, but admitted Joshua looks in strong condition as well. He also expressed curiosity about how Joshua would perform after dealing with personal and training challenges, adding that the matchup would be a huge global event and a true mega fight for the sport.
I still think Tyson could take it, but AJ is looking strong. I want to see how AJ is going to be coming back now, you know what I mean? Obviously, he's gone through a lot as well with his loss of his friends and everything else in training camp. But look, I'm sure it'd be a mega fight. What a massive fight it'll be.
However, John Fury suggested that Tyson Fury may no longer be at his absolute peak, pointing to the wear and tear from years of tough fights. He highlighted the intense trilogy with Deontay Wilder as a major factor, arguing those battles may have taken something out of him. Fury added that such wars in the ring could leave Tyson less sharp heading into a potential clash with Anthony Joshua.
I'm a no-filter kind of guy. I love my son, but there's too many people patting him on the back and telling him he's Tarzan when he's not Tarzan. He's been gone Tyson since the Deontay Wilder fights. It's finished Wilder completely. Done him. He's not got a leg underneath him. It's took a lot away from Tyson. Magmadov, this is a problem. I'm the first one to say it, because all them out there, they don't pay enough attention to detail, Spencer.
In contrast, Anthony Joshua admitted that defeating Tyson Fury would be a difficult task, but still backed himself to get the job done. Joshua made it clear there was no close relationship between them, although he respected Fury's accomplishments in the sport. He also pointed out that Fury's outspoken personality and unorthodox style made him a standout and highly recognizable opponent.
You beat Tyson Fury,
I'll be over the moon.
would you?
Yeah, of course. You know,
Would you like to?
Yeah, of course.
Are you friendly with him?
Not really. But I respect what he's done.
I think he called you a dosser.
Yeah, but...
That's his standard term of abuse.
Yeah.
You big dosser.
Yeah.
He's a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
He is a businessman. I am a Spartan.
Yeah. Have you got one of those fully Tyson Fury dolls? No, I'm joking. You must like him, though.
What makes you say that?
Because you can memorize every quote of his.
He's very quotable, isn't he?
He is, to be fair.
He's got that distinctive...
Like he's eating a frog voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think you could beat him?
Yeah.
Wouldn't be easy, though.
No.
The bookies, I think, would favour him.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
On another note, Tony Bellew pointed out that the biggest danger for Anthony Joshua isn't physical ability, but mindset. Bellew explained that Joshua becomes a serious threat to any heavyweight in the world when he enters the ring aggressively and lets his hands go, especially in the opening rounds. However, he emphasized that the real issue lies in Joshua's mentality, which ultimately determines whether he can maintain that level of dominance throughout the fight.
It's the mindset he attacks with that is the biggest threat to Anthony Joshua. If Anthony Joshua gets in the ring with any heavyweight in the world, I don't care who you are, if he just gets in and lets his hands go, he's a problem for 6 rounds. But it's what's going on here. That's the biggest problem.
Meanwhile, Francis Ngannou called the matchup very close, saying either Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury could win, depending on how it plays out. Ngannou leaned toward Fury in a decision, but noted Joshua has early knockout power that could change the fight.
Which of them do you think will win?
Well, again, at this level, I think it's very close. Everybody can win. And then it depends on how the fight goes. I think if it's going to be like go to decision, I give the decision. I will pick Fury if this fight go to decision. And then if it's like a knockout, I think Joshua has a chance early in the round, but as far as the fight goes, it's going to be way off on the Fury favor.
On the other hand, Anthony Joshua versus Christian Pringa represents an opportunity for Joshua to stay active, build momentum, and sharpen his form as he looks ahead to much bigger heavyweight showdowns in the future.
We knock people out and let's find out what his purpose is, because physically, every heavyweight's strong. Physically, every heavyweight can probably knock someone out, but it's what the purpose is. Let's see where his mind's at, July 25th.
In contrast, Pringa entered the July 25th fight full of confidence, stating that while he respects Anthony Joshua outside the ring, that respect vanishes once they step inside. He added that every opponent is treated the same under the lights, while still acknowledging Joshua as a top-tier fighter in the heavyweight division.
Yeah, I'm gonna win July 25th.
He's done a lot, but is there, in the ring, there's no respect for AJ, would you say?
No, never respect in the ring. I don't respect nobody in the ring. I respect him, he's a great fighter, but not in the ring.
Adding to that confidence, Pringa expressed strong confidence going into the fight, predicting a stoppage victory. He stated that he intends to shock the boxing world and is convinced the contest will not reach the later rounds, expecting it to finish before the 10-round mark.
You believe you can knock him out?
I believe, I promise you, it's not gonna go 10 rounds to the fight. I'm gonna shock the world, brother.
At the same time, Christian Prenga's manager addressed the doubts around the matchup, but emphasized his fighter's belief in heavy-handed power. He insisted that Pringa only needs a couple of clean connections to shake Anthony Joshua, adding that once Joshua is forced out of his rhythm, the fight could quickly become dangerous and swing in Prenga's favor.
KP, Christian Pringa, understands the odds against him. He understands the doubt that's been placed on him. But he has absolutely no fear, tremendous confidence that he can win this fight. Christian is a very heavy-handed puncher. I brought in some of the top sparring partners that we've been able to get our hands on. They have called me up and been amazed at how heavy-handed and what a hard puncher he is and how much of a beating they've been taking in sparring. So we don't need 12 rounds. We don't need 1,000 punches. We just need 1 or 2 good punches on AJ's jaw to get him uncomfortable. And we've seen it time and time again. When he gets hit in the right spot, he gets out of his comfort zone and loses control. And once we get him to that place, KP can step in and take over the fight. It's a really risky fight for Anthony Joshua.
Building on that, Spencer Olivier viewed the fight as a significant opportunity for Christian Pringa, while highlighting the gap in experience and elite competition between him and Anthony Joshua. He acknowledged Pringa's punching power, but noted that he has not yet been tested against top-level opponents, describing the matchup as a controlled test for Joshua against a dangerous but unproven puncher.
It is a massive opportunity for Christian Pringa, for sure, but you must admit that he is at a lot lower level than Anthony Joshua. He's never competed at that sort of level. Anthony Joshua knows what he's going in with here. Your guy is very heavy-handed, yes, but from the footage that you've seen online from him, he doesn't he's not mixed, and he doesn't seem to be at that level as Anthony Joshua, and I suppose that's where this is all coming from. It's a calculated gamble from Joshua's side of things because they want a test of some sort, a guy that is heavy-handed.
However, Spencer Olivier warned not to overlook Christian Pringa, pointing out that every one of his wins has come by stoppage, even if the opposition has been limited. He also highlighted that Anthony Joshua is stepping into the fight with added external pressure, making his mental state on the night a key uncertainty. Olivier added that Joshua's condition may only truly reveal itself once he makes his ring walk and settles into the early rounds. He further suggested the fight could act as an important comeback opportunity for Joshua, while noting that Pringa will see it as a career-defining chance to deliver a major upset.
Listen, he's dangerous. 20 of his 20 wins that he's had have all come inside the distance. Yeah, it's been at a lower caliber of opponent, but Anthony Joshua's had his problems outside of the ring. He's got to deal with that going into this one. So given all that, taking all that into consideration, and we don't know where Anthony Joshua's going to be mentally, and I don't think no one knows where he's going to be. Maybe even he doesn't know where he's going to be until he does that ring walk, until he goes in there. So if you look at all of that, you go, this could be one of the greatest comebacks in the heavyweight boxing in such a short space of time because of what Anthony Joshua's been through. And Christian Pringa is a dangerous guy that will see this as an opportunity, and that's what this is about.
On the other hand, Ade Oladipo didn't expect Christian Pringa to seriously threaten Anthony Joshua, though he still acknowledged him as a large heavyweight with solid knockout power. He noted that Pringa hasn't faced high-level opposition, but his ability to finish fights still makes him worth respecting. Oladipo added that any 250 to 260 pound fighter with genuine punching power can become dangerous if he lands clean, meaning Joshua cannot afford to be careless despite his clear experience advantage.
Christian Pringa shouldn't offer any problems. He's a big lump, as they all are in the heavyweight division. I'm guessing he's around 250, 260. Although everyone he's knocked out is at a very, very low level, knockout power is knockout power. Some people will go points with some of the guys that he's put to sleep. So he clearly has power. And I've always said, I think if a 260 pound guy hits you clean on the chin, your legs will wobble and you could go down. So AJ has to be careful.
Similarly, Simon Jordan emphasized that boxing has clear levels, and he expects those gaps to become obvious once the fight begins, no matter the pre-fight narratives. He noted that plenty of heavyweights can punch, but Joshua has already dealt with dangerous hitters like Vladimir Klitschko and Dillian White. Jordan added that although those victories came in the past, the difference in class still holds weight, arguing that Pringa simply isn't operating at Joshua's level. He ultimately suggested that if Joshua shows up in his normal form, he should come away with the win.
There are levels in this game, and I suspect we will see the levels. Well, the levels will be shown in the ring, and all the talk before it will make no difference. Lots of heavyweights are heavy-handed.
Yeah.
And actually, Joshua's been in with lots of heavy-handed heavyweights, and you can talk about how he reacts. We've seen him getting hit. We saw him get hit by Klitschko, and we saw what he did to Klitschko. We've seen him get hit by Dillian White, who's heavy-handed, and we saw what that. Now, these are years ago, I grant you.
Sure.
But this, with due respect to Keith, this guy is not at the level that Anthony Joshua was at. If Anthony Joshua maintains some degree of level, then I expect this fight to go Anthony Joshua's way.
In contrast, Tony Bellew dismissed the idea that this fight is just a routine formality, suggesting it could instead act as a controlled test for Pringa to see how he handles pressure. He explained that the matchup seems structured to evaluate his response when he is physically and mentally pushed. Bellew also implied that Anthony Joshua would likely be aiming for bigger names at this stage, but would still take the fight if it was the opportunity presented.
I'm not going to lie, I think this fight is a formality, but ultimately the reason it's happening is because his team want to see what happens in camp. His team want to see him pushed in sparring. His team want to see when you're in sparring and it gets around 7, 8, you feel a little bit tired. I want to see what happens up here. This fight is happening to please a camp, I believe.
But do you think AJ, if given the option, would have gone straight to Tyson Fury, as opposed to having this warm-up
I
fight?
believe if he was told this is the only option you've got to face Tyson Fury, he'd have said yes.
That's the full picture ahead of a fight that still carries plenty of questions and expectations on both sides. From power and pressure to experience and composure, everything will be tested once they step inside the ring. Now it all comes down to fight night and whether reality matches the predictions.